Okay, we're going to put the final coat of green on. We got that orange, kind of a burnt orange color there, over top of the first coat of green. That's about what I wanted. Now we're going to cover a lot of that up, but we're going to let some of it show through.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, you're hearing down in the basement, some grumbling going on, and knowing that he just can't leave it because he can't figure it out. Sometimes he works late into the night, so he can be kind of obsessive about it in that way.
Art has been my major source of income for the last 15 years, but it's not been an easy thing. My wife is also a full-time artist, and we struggle. We give up a lot of things in order to do what we love.
We feed off each other. We teach each other. We learn from each other. We get together and we talk about ideas.
They very much play off of each other. They very much are critics of each other. And so that I have seen them many, many times. Steve will be suggesting something to Diane that she might want to try with this or that piece, and vice versa.
It's got to be a wonderful source of inspiration to both of them to live with another person's artwork and live with that kind of a mind that creates that. And certainly somebody with the sensitivity to know what it means to be an artist, how difficult it is, and maybe sometimes how much fun.
Just have some flesh tone to put in. Want it to be fairly smooth, but I like a little bit of that black to show through. Some of these brighter colors I'm going to burnish a little bit with some steel wool. That'll let a little bit more of the underpainting show through and gives a softer satin kind of look. Once they've been painted, it's always good to go back in, clean out that hole a little bit, putting some wax on some of these parts that are, especially painted parts that are going to be in contact. I've always been fascinated by this idea that you could create a box that was lined with mirrors, had some kind of viewing window and maybe lit from inside, so whatever you put in the box, whether it be figures or gears or parts that moved, would then be reflected to near infinity.
In that work, he has used different kinds of woods and let the natural colors of these woods play and interplay.
One piece in particular, I had a mechanism inside the box that caused a series of different sized wooden spheres to not just revolve around on a single plane, but it had a kind of a gear that was cantered to one side so that everything kind of revolved willy-nilly. It was just like, kind of like being inside an atom.
I'm fortunate enough to actually own some Steve Armstrong artwork, and one of the pieces is fortune teller. And as you turn the crank, the arms move, levitate around the crystal ball. And up pops a veiled woman, and there's an opportunity to put a sign in her hands for a message. That thing just reminds me so much of being a kid, and that's what I love that piece. Just from that moment on, it's like, I gotta have it. If I never have anything else, I'm gonna have that.
A major piece that was part of Steve Armstrong's exhibition was an installation of a very large automata, which was used during the exhibit for the opening, and the presentation included a performance with the piece featuring the Kentucky Youth Ballet. We asked people who were visiting during the exhibition to come up and try the piece and move it, and it was really quite a favorite.
The biggest piece I ever did was something over 20 feet tall in the shape of a windmill, and a series of gears that caused a number of figures to move. It had a juggler, and the planets revolved around the sun, and a lot of different things going on.
A developer from Atlanta purchased a piece that's now at Emory University.
Okay, here we are at the final assembly. I'm anxious to put this together. First thing we need to do is start some screws here in the base. So far, so good. Okay, while that glue is still wet, put my little pin in and check for the proper height and give. To put our figure on, we've got a squeak or two. Let's see if I can alleviate that. If we can't, then we'll just enjoy it. I think took care of it.
Very often these subjects are chosen not so much for their meaning, but for the shape or the form. Like there's an alligator because it's interesting to do an alligator with the shape of the jaws, the shape of the tail, the skin, not so much that the alligator has a symbolism for Steve. The way a poet would choose a word, not because of its meaning, but because of its sound.
He takes some of our very deep concerns and plays on them and has us step back and look at them and think, my gosh, maybe it isn't as frightening as we think it is.
What he does now with this sculpture and with the kinetic movement of these pieces has obviously totally consumed him. That's where he is, that's where he wants to be. And so he's not going to do anything conventional.
I can't explain, even to myself, this urge to create. There'll never be enough time for me to do all the art that I've got swirling around in my head. Life is short. I make that point in my work all the time.
He could do a lot of things. Art is his passion, and he would rather do that than anything else in the world. And that's pretty bold.
It's not about materialism. It's not about money. It's not about recognition. He does what he does because he has to do it.
It's so true for me to be able to look at a piece of wood, a block of wood, and know that that figure is already in there. And it's what you cut away. It's not actually carving the figure, you're cutting away the part that you don't want.